Nothing wrong with doing some outside things to make you feel better.
Cash out on a video, cash out to see the rodeo, put on a show and make it nasty.
Hi, my name is Doucette and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be all about the glow up. I don't know if it's just me, but when I was younger, I had a vision of who I was going to be and what my life would look like. Last year is when I really felt like I was living in that vision that I had. From a couple of things that I did in order to make sure by the time that I turned 30, a dream of my future self would become a reality. I want to share what some of those things with you guys, and so if you are interested in that, go ahead and keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the video. The first rule for glowing up for me is going inward. After I did that, that's when the physical glow up happened for me. I'm going to start with those things first. What do you need to work on internally first before you start working on the external stuff? Well, the first thing that I did was I went to go see that lady, and I will say this until I'm blue in the face, but therapy really changed my life. In order to get to the next level of my life, to get to that future self, work on my trauma and heal, work on things that have been holding me back emotionally and mentally. I started seeing results within about a year and a half of therapy where I started to feel better. It was like somebody took off these really dark sunglasses and I could finally see the world for what it was, which was that it wasn't so gloomy and bad, that there was some good and there was some bad, but overall it was good. My first glow up tip is definitely go see that lady. I will always scream that from the top of my lungs, is to go see that lady or that man if you prefer a male therapist, but go see somebody about whatever is bothering you internally. When you start your glow up journey that way, working on the internal stuff, the external stuff is going to come so much easier, I promise you. Next thing that contributed a lot to my glow up was me finishing my master's degree. The more educated you are, I just think the more confidence it builds in you, even if it's not a formal education, but when you are knowledgeable about a lot of things, you definitely advance to a different level than other people. Not saying that you are better than other people just because you're educated. There is a sort of prestige that comes with that. Happened for me when I got my master's degree. I felt like I was more respected in my field of work. I was more knowledgeable, obviously, so I felt confident talking about certain things, problem solving through certain things within my field of work. And then obviously when you get your master's degree, your pay increases, so I started making a lot more money. Let me just say this from the beginning. If you are going to have a glow up, you need some money. That's just a fact. Like, things that I will be mentioning in this video do cost money. Even therapy. Therapy is expensive, especially if it's not covered by your insurance. $250 a session, and at one time I was seeing my therapist every week, so you do the math. That is a lot of money to pay out of pocket if you don't have insurance. The fact of the matter is, your glow up is going to require you to have some funds. Now, you can scale how much you spend on certain things, however, it's going to require some money. So when I got my master's degree, I got a higher paying job, and that afforded me to start investing in my looks, in my hobby. Definitely part of completing my idea of what my future self looked like and what she did and how she presented herself to the world. The next two things tie back to therapy because they're things that I learned in therapy that helped me interact with myself and the world around me in a more positive manner. And those two things are letting go of the idea of perfection and becoming more vulnerable. So let's start with letting go of the idea of perfection. I used to be such a perfectionist. I wanted everything to be perfect, down to how I was interacting with people. And what I started to realize, I would isolate myself whenever I felt like I wasn't in the perfect state. Affected obviously my connections with others, but it affected the way that I saw myself too, because when you want to be perfect all the time, which is unattainable, so it's unrealistic, you start to have really unrealistic expectations for yourself overall in every aspect of your life, and it makes it really hard to try new things and to fail at them. Failing was like my worst fear. I couldn't make a mistake. There could be no missteps in my journey through anything. And that is a really hard thing to deal with internally. It just makes you a shell of yourself because you're afraid to be vulnerable. And that is the next thing that I had to learn to do, was be more vulnerable with myself. And vulnerability requires, when I became more vulnerable, I started opening up to people more about what I was going through, how I was feeling. I felt more connected to my environment, to the people I was around. I felt less alone in the world. And I started to deconstruct a lot of my ideas of perfectionism and what I needed to do in order to be cared for and loved and appreciated. See what's next on the list. Moving my body. Oh my God, this is one of the best things I ever did for myself. I knew about the benefits of working out. I think everybody knows, when you go to the doctor, they tell you to move your body and things like that. But I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I was lazy. Because I have a nice body, and I've always had a nice body, that I really didn't need to move my body or work out or anything like that until my body was at a point where I didn't like it. When I started moving my body, the benefits of it within my mental health, almost right away. It does not matter how bad that I'm feeling. If I work out, if I move my body, I gain this clarity. It's really hard to get any other way. I do Pilates 3 times a week. And when I'm not doing Pilates and it's warm outside, I will go for a walk. Moving my body for an hour, 30 minutes does wonders for me. I think it's both the act of getting up and doing something that's hard when you don't feel like it is really beneficial for me. Last 2 things on the inwards part of glowing up is hobbies, and it's that damn phone. And they go hand in hand. At least they went hand in hand for me. My phone tells me every Sunday how much time I'm spending on it. And I remember one time in 2024, I think towards the end of 2024, I looked at it and I was like, dang, I spend a lot of time on my phone. And when you go into the health app, it breaks down that number. So how many hours are you spending on social media accounts? How many hours are you spending on podcasts? How many hours are you spending on Google? I just saw that I was spending a lot of time, and I was spending a lot of time on my phone on social media. And I was like, there's so many things that I say that I don't have time for. And this was after I finished my master's degree, so I had a lot more time. I was like, I do actually have the time, because if I'm spending this much time on my phone doing nothing but scrolling, then I have time to read those 10 books that I've been wanting to read, or start a hobby of knitting, or whatever I wanted to do. It's a goal of mine to start investing a lot of that time into hobbies instead of being on my phone. When I wake up in the morning, I don't go straight to my social media. I do still pick up my phone in the morning to check my emails. I check the word of the day on Webster. Then I start to get ready. I'll put on a podcast and then I'll start to get ready for the day. I like to spend the first hour of my day not on my phone. So after the hour is over, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours sometimes, depending on how busy my morning is, then I get on my phone, get on social media. The last 2 hours before I go to bed, I don't spend on my phone. I also train my brain to recognize when I am spending a lot of time on my phone, because I think now, because we're so used to our phones and a lot of us are addicted to our phones, we don't even recognize when we spend like 5-6 hours just scrolling on our phones. But now I recognize, like, if I spend even like an hour just scrolling, I'll be like, why am I spending so much time on my phone? What is going on? I have to, again, go inwards and be like, what is happening internally? Because I also found that through therapy, when I am avoiding something, I'll just go on my phone and start scrolling for hours instead of dealing with whatever it is that I need to be dealing with. And it took about, I would say, 6 months of like rewiring and training my brain to put my phone down in order for that to happen. And when I started incorporating like hobbies into this plan of like being on my phone less, it really helped a lot. So I'm a person that loves reading, and I love doing puzzles. I love listening to podcasts, or watching educational things like documentaries. I watch lectures as well. Spending all my time scrolling on social media, I can't do it. I have to invest that time elsewhere. It's that damn phone. You need to put it down, and you need to do something outside of scrolling. Because once I stopped doing that, I felt so much better. Like, sometimes I would talk to people and they would be happening on social media, seeing this happening there. I'll be like, no, I didn't. And I'm actually glad I didn't, because why do I need to know so much information about people that does not matter? Like, I get the internet helps us stay connected to each other and just the world overall and what's happening. And I think that is important. But sometimes all that information all the time can be so overwhelming and so anxiety inducing that you have to step back and not know what's going on with some person that went viral on TikTok or Twitter for doing something stupid. Like, I don't need to know that. Now we are done with the internal things, all the things that you need to do to make yourself feel good inside so that exudes on the outside. And now let's get into how I like to say becoming an even better bitch on the outside. Okay, these are the external things that I have done in order to glow up. The biggest thing I did for myself last year was starting to get my hair done. I used to wear a lot of wigs, and that was cool for a while, but then I started to get sick of it. It just didn't look good to me anymore. It'd be too time consuming for me, putting it on, taking it off, washing it. I've been doing quick weaves since I want to say September. I literally went on Canva one day and I was like, my end of the year 2025 rebrand, and I put up all the pictures of how I wanted to look, how I wanted to dress, how I wanted to feel, things like that. And one of the biggest things was I wanted to get my hair done every month. I wanted to be one of the girls that kept their hair done. Having your hair done makes you look put together no matter what. It's like an illusion. When I have my hair done, it looks like I did something, you know, when I really didn't. When you look good, you feel good, and people treat you better, unfortunately, when you look better. Getting my hair done and keeping my hair done has really elevated my look. I feel like I look more my age now, and because the wigs were just so hard to manage a lot of the times, I would have my natural hair out. Although I love my natural hair, it makes me look younger than I am. And I like it. I don't take it as a compliment when people say, oh, you look so young. No, I want to look like a grown-ass woman because that's what I am. And getting my hair done and keeping my hair done has done that for me. And that is just something that helped boost my confidence overall, is that people don't think I'm 20 anymore. And I don't know, the girls be fighting about it, talking about how you need to embrace your natural hair and things like that. I will just say, do whatever makes you happy, do whatever makes you confident. Obviously, if you like hate your natural hair, you may want to dig deeper and see why that is. I don't hate my natural hair. I actually prefer to wear my natural hair in the summertime in like a bun and stuff because it's way too hot to have all this hair. But like in the wintertime, girl, yeah, put that quick weave in because it looks damn good. I invested in my signature look. My hair was a part of that, but overall, like, what did I want to present to the world when I left my house? Look, when I think about a signature anything, it's to something that people are going to associate with you, right? So if you always wear a certain kind of jewelry, if you always wear a certain kind of perfume, if you always wear a certain kind of clothing, you have a certain, you have a specific style, that is your signature. When people describe you, they're going to describe those things. What did I want that to be? What did I want that association to be? And when I figured that out, I started investing in things that fit that look, that signature. Glowing up physically is investing in treatments for your skin. I'm somebody who suffered from acne for a really long time. Basically, when I was a teenager up until like my college years, and it took me a really long time to get my skin in order. A year and a half ago, I had a really bad breakout because I was under a lot of stress and I was sick, and I was in and out of the hospital, and there was a lot going on. The way that stress physically manifested was me breaking out all over my face and some all over like my chest and that. I consulted a dermatologist, had me some medication, and then after I was left with a whole bunch of acne scars, which I was not used to because I had cleared up my skin and a lot of my hyperpigmentation. So last year I decided that I was going to start laser facials. I get a facial twice a month now. I pay about $250 for it. I go to this place called Skin Laundry. I don't wear makeup on a daily basis. I just like my skin to look good. I also invest in a lot of skincare products that might be a little bit more pricey, but I know work. You find something that's a little bit pricey but does work well with your skin, and you see an improvement every time you use it. And when you don't use it, you see that your skin is kind of falling off, then definitely invest in that. And I think that has really improved my skin overall. The whole point of a glow up is that you feel confident, you feel comfortable in your skin. As long as you have worked on the inside things, there's nothing wrong with doing some outside things to make you feel better. Last thing I did for my glow up journey was investing in my wardrobe. Really, this is something that I've been doing for years, actually, maybe for like 5 years, 6 years. I wanted a wardrobe that felt like I always had something to wear. And investing in pieces that cultivated that feeling. When I step into my closet, I always have something to wear to it. I've invested in basics. I have started to look at things that I was missing in my closet and prioritizing buying those things versus just buying things because they're cute or because they're cheap and on sale. I started investing in pieces that I felt like could really live in my closet for a long time versus, you know, cheap, quick things. I still buy some quick, cheap things, but not in bulk like I used to before. Like my closet is not filled with items that are cheap and quick, you know, fast fashion stuff. I really try to invest in high quality items. That sometimes means buying items that are pricier. Like I said, if you're gonna go through a glow up journey, it's going to require some money, and this last thing is no different. You are going to need some money to update your wardrobe. I did it over the course of like 6 years. I think I'm in the point now where there's just a couple of things that I need, but overall my closet is pretty complete. We have come to the end of this video. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching and clicking on my face. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me below in the comments some of the things that you've done for yourself to glow up. Rather it's advancing your education, doing something physically like getting your hair done all the time like I did. Whatever it is, let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one next week. Bye.